Today on Gibson A Go-Go, we're taking a second look approximately 1 year later at the 2021 Non Reverse Thunderbird from Gibson. So I love this series for a couple reasons. One, because it deals with one of my favorite manufacturers, Gibson. And two, I get to be a little less scripted and honest. Not that I'm dishonest in the other videos, but it's, I'm reading specs from the website. I want to make sure I hit all the points, and it's just very scripted. This one's just very free, and I just get to just ramble and talk stream of consciousness about something that I enjoy. I am not affiliated with Gibson in any way, although I'm trying to be. As of right now, that's not the case. I just really like these instruments, and I want to talk about this one again because I had some opinions on it a year ago, approximately, when I first unboxed it, and some of those opinions have changed 1 year later after playing it more and doing some different setup and string changes to this one. So let's just hear a quick sound sample and we'll jump right back into it. Okay, so I haven't watched that video that I did a year ago since about when I made it, but to the best of my memory, some of the points that I had on it were A, it sounds awesome, and B, it didn't feel quite as good as that one right there, Thunderbird. That's my 2019 standard Thunderbird that I've heavily modded. You've probably seen it. If not, it's right here. And for that matter, if you haven't seen the video of this one a year ago, it's also right here. So it's been a year, and I have some different opinions. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, the opinion that hasn't changed is it sounds awesome. If anything, I've grown more accustomed to the sound. I've grown more comfortable with the instrument, particularly the nut width. And I think that goes a long way, because when you're more comfortable on an instrument, you can play it a little bit more comfortably, a little more freely, and a little more like yourself, and you get to hear the tone even more because you're not struggling with something that's a little unfamiliar. So if anything, the tone sounds better now. These vintage kind of Alnico Thunderbird pickups sound great. I wish they would do more with them because they really do sound awesome. Again, the neck by itself sounds good, the bridge by itself sounds good, but together there's just some magic flavor that's kind of unmatched to a degree. I mean, obviously it's a dual pickup, dual volume tone, so it's kind of got the same thing like a jazz bass has when everything is just at 10, where it kind of ducks out certain frequencies and all of that stuff that I don't fully 100% understand. That's all happening, but it's happening with big humbuckers, so it's a fatter J bass type of thing. So let's move on to the feel. Again, to the best of my recollection, I thought that it felt a little cheaper, which it is. It's gone up in price now due to inflation. But a year ago, this was, I think, $18.99, where my other Thunderbird is $22.99. I think this one is now $21.99. I don't know what that is anymore, but either way, this one is less expensive, despite inflation, than the other one. It's got set net construction, and I just remember the first time I played it, I know I'm going to sound new agey when I say this, but it just felt different in my thumb. Like it didn't resonate the same, and something just felt off about it. Another thing that I didn't quite mention in that other one, not that I was trying to not, I just forgot, the action in the neck, the relief in the neck was just a little bit higher than I personally like. It wasn't way off, it wasn't badly set up or anything like that. It's just a little bit higher action than I prefer. So, first of all, I straightened the neck out, put some fretboard conditioner, and put my preferred brand of strings, which is Elixir strings. And the more I play other manufacturers' uncoated, round wound strings, the more I'm noticing that I kind of babied myself over the years in terms of just like, I'm really stubborn with, I need this feel. If it's a round wound string, I need that Elixir feel, otherwise something is off. Like with this Rex Brown back here, I have the Labella stainless steels, and they sound great. They feel different to me. And so because those are on there, I find myself playing that one less, despite it looking great and sounding great. So now that I have my strings on here, I've oiled the fretboard, and I've kind of tweaked the action to where I like it. I am totally of a different opinion on this bass. It's kind of hard to say this because, you know, my Gibson basses are almost like my children. But this is probably right now my favorite one. This is the one that sometimes if I'm just kind of sitting on the couch late at night and I'm just noodling, this is the one I pick up because it sits a little bit better on the lap, I think, than the standard shape. And it just, I don't know, I've gotten much more used to the nut width. And I think a year ago, some of the negative things that I was experiencing were the strings that I wasn't used to, and the fact that the fretboard maybe needed to be oiled, because when I would play it, I think I might have said this in the video too, I felt like I needed to wash my hands, because it felt like the fretboard was like sucking the moisture out, and my hands just felt weird afterwards. So now that's completely gone, and this instrument just feels like home. Like it feels really good. I've played it a lot since then. Obviously, I played it a bunch just the other day to get the tones for this video. And of course, I loaned it to my friend Lenny from the Smarties, who the Smarties are no longer around anymore, but a couple months ago I had him play this on stage, and I can tell you that it looks great on stage, and it sounds great on stage.
Mr. Crowley, won't you ride my white horse? Oh, Mr. Crowley.
And also that night he played the SG bass, and somehow that one just stole the show and sounded the best in his hands in that band and that venue, but this one was an absolutely very close second to the SG bass. So I guess the biggest takeaway from this video is first impressions, not only are they not everything, I don't think they can be trusted. Because I've seen a couple other videos on this bass from a couple other YouTube channels, and they're kind of, in my opinion, unfairly a little harsh. So first impressions, you can take a lot of negativity away from them. Again, I was picking up on the way my left hand felt. For whatever reason, whether it was the strings, the dried out fretboard, the higher than I like action, or all three, it made my first impression of this bass, nah. But now that I've taken the time to make it fit me and what I like to feel, this instrument's great. It's hard to say that I like it more than my 2019 heavily modded one because it's like a sentimental thing attached to it. But beyond the sentimental thing of that one, if that one was still 100% stock, I think I might, as of right now, mid 2023, I might prefer this one, both tonally and feel. It's cool, and I'm so glad that I took the time to get to know it, took the time to adjust it, took the time to make it fit me a little better, since again, it is my instrument. Why wouldn't you do that? It's silly to think that it's going to come out of the box perfect and, you know, angels are going to sing when you take it out. That is the downside of these videos being unscripted, as I ramble and I say the same thing in 4 different ways. So I'm just going to sum it up right here. Compared to a year ago, I think this sounds just as good, if not better. But more importantly, I think that it feels better than I initially judged a year ago. I love that it comes with a case. I love the color. I didn't like the color, but the color is just awesome. I mean, check it out. This pickguard warp, sure, it's a little unfortunate. It doesn't affect the playability whatsoever. And sometimes I forget it's there unless I look at it really closely. But again, big deal. Like, I have an instrument that sounds great, feels great, and assuming I don't beat the hell out of it is going to retain its value. So if something catastrophic ever happens in my life and all of these have to go up on Reverb, this is going to get close to original retail price, unlike some Schecters of the world. If this is in your budget, especially a year later's inflation price hike, if this is in your budget and you are considering it and you're not just here to hate on it, I can unequivocally say go for it. Because again, you get the case, you get a lot of stuff with it. It sounds good, it looks good, and it feels good. And in my opinion, I can't ask for anything beyond that. So I do believe that's all I have to say. I keep staring at the tuners like they're going to give me some idea of what to say next. But they just say hip shot. So firstly and foremost, if you hated this video, please give it a dislike and unsubscribe from the channel. If you liked this video, then welcome. I'm glad that you're here. Please like the video and subscribe because I'd like to hang out with you more, even if it's just over the internet. And most importantly, if you're not a YouTube member and you want to be, if $5 a month is in your budget, you can support the channel. You get some access to extended and exclusive videos for members. And maybe in the future we'll do some polls and some voting and I don't know what else. But this video was inspired by a couple comments from some members and I thought, let's do it. So that is just about all I have to say, I believe, on the non-reverse Thunderbird from Gibson in Inverness Green. Thanks for watching and I will see you whenever it is that I see you.